Hey everybody, what's it going? Welcome to the Laugh Shack, alright? I'm not Bill Burr. I sound like Bill Burr, but I'm not Bill Burr. Anyway, alright, this is what we're gonna do. Funny time laugh jokes, okay? That's what we're gonna do right here. Alright, here you do. When a chemist dies, what do his colleagues do? They bury him! Oh, yeah, boo me, yeah, because I'm the bad guy.
Greetings, people of the YouTube and watchers of my show. I'm Colonel Fancy, your host, and I wanted to bring you this video post today as a little bit of a general news update about some things that I just wanted to talk about, some info on some of the projects that I have working on, and I also recently acquired a small pallet load of games that I wanted to share with you. So, first of all, I wanted to say thank you. Thank you to all of my new subscribers. I've gained a pretty good amount of subscribers considering how long that I've been doing this in the last 2 weeks. And it's a little bit humbling to know that what I'm doing is something that people would want to see. So that's pretty cool. Thank you everybody, and it's going to continue to encourage me to put regular content up to the best of my abilities, and I hope that I don't disappoint. Speaking of content, there's also been the staggering issue with my History of Double Dragon video. It's still in the works. It's probably my most ambitious project, so I've been experiencing some setbacks only because I'm trying some new things, because I've been kind of gifted with an embarrassment of riches as far as editing goes, and I think I've been in over my head, but I've had countless setbacks with this. I lost game footage, I had to play the games over and over again, and then it's things that I'll address when the video's actually up. But it hasn't really been too big of a nightmare. It's just been frustrating that I haven't been done with it yet. So I apologize for that. It's still coming. And also, I want to start doing some other reviews because I have my other section, Burned Retinas, which I have planned for a lot of television show reviews. Mostly a lot of the Saturday morning cartoons that I grew up, some anime reviews, maybe episode by episode synopsises, and I'm also going to... Yeah, there's this. I'm actually going to make a video post about the last 2 episodes of Game Over, just because the last 2 episodes of the show I think are the most annoying, and normally I would put those in my WordPress journal blogs, but I'm just going to watch both of those episodes and get them out of the way as fast as possible, because they're just a tad, it's nerve-wracking. So there's that, and as stated, I want to do some more anime reviews, and I also want to try and make some more cartoons, because if there's any reason why I really wanted to start making videos, it's because I originally wanted to do, like, cartoons. So there's that, and not to keep you forever. So mostly, thank you everybody for subscribing. I hope you're watching, I hope you're laughing, and I hope you're liking, or thumbs downing the videos. I mean, either or that. It's you know, feedback one way or another to let me know what you like and what you don't like. So I won't hold any longer. I'm going to get to some of the games that I picked up, which most of them have been kind of a venerable. They're games that I sort of like. Some of them are games that I really liked, and I didn't really think get a great deal of credit, or some of them are ones that I'm going to be trying out for the first time. And one of the ones that I had recently picked up again was Geist on the GameCube. I played it very briefly. But I kind of like the idea behind it. The game kind of put me into mind. I don't know if you've ever played Deus Ex Machina on the Dreamcast, but it's sort of a little bit like that, where there's only parts of a stage that you can access by astral projection and going through like walls and stuff or fittings. So it's something that I played briefly, many years ago, and I have an opportunity to try it again. So, Geist, pretty cool GameCube game. Maybe it might be better than I remember it, or worse. I'll find out. And hey, I might even review this one, actually. And another one that I picked up, this is one that I absolutely knew nothing about. And I also never really gave the original Xbox much of a chance. This kind of came at a sort of a minor crossroads in what I viewed as gaming. The Dreamcast had just died, and Sega was out of the running as far as being a major console developer. Kind of left a bit of a hole in my heart. Sony took charge, and people looked at them as the head honchos, and I never gave the original Xbox all that much of a chance. So at this point, I've just been going around and buying random Xbox games, just kind of going, oh, okay, that's Xbox, so I'll pick that up. And one of the ones that caught my eye is Bloodwing. And what immediately drew me to this is that it's naval combat. And we've seen airplanes. There's been helicopter games with the Soviet Strike series that Electronic Arts used to make in the 90s, and I've actually wondered why that never returned. I think it'd be pretty cool to try and play a aerial helicopter combat game, especially with the elaborate control schemes that we can set up now. But with Bloodwing, first off, the thing that actually crossed my mind when I looked at the cover is this Waterworld? That's pretty much immediately what crossed my mind when I saw it. But yeah, gunboat warfare, as it says there on the front. So I'm kind of interested to see how this goes. I'm hoping it's not just a generic third-person explodey Beano game. Like, if this is Twisted Metal on water, I'm gonna be pissed. I've never really cared much for Twisted Metal. Twisted Metal's like one of the most annoying franchises ever. I'm probably gonna get heat for that, but what are you gonna do? Twisted Metal sucks. So, next up on my acquisitions is a game that I had a chance to play briefly, or at least a PAL version of it at a convention many years ago, and it's the PS2 port of it, Headhunter. And this was one of the coolest games that I played at the time. It was pretty awesome. It's like a freaking 80s action. It's like an 80s action movie. It's almost like what happened if you combined like Time Cop and Double Impact. I think that might be the movie I'm thinking of. But yeah, it's third-person action, a good deal of espionage, and the whole vibe of the game was pretty awesome. I played the PS2 port of it many moons ago, and it was not as crisp as the Dreamcast version, but still a pretty decent port nonetheless. And I think kind of one of the sleeper PS2 games. This is one of my favorite PS2 games. Probably didn't get a great deal of attention, and probably one of the last games put out with the Acclaim name on it before they went insane and released BMX XXX. Great game, Acclaim. I wonder what happened to you and why you're dead. So, and this one's another game that I didn't give much of a chance. Now, I love my fighting games. I love my fighting games a lot, and I played a great deal of Soul Calibur in the late 90s going into the early 2000s. Played it up to the third game, but I never played the fourth one. I've never played this game because when I saw the commercial ads for it, it had Darth Vader in it, and I was sad. It's bad enough that it's bad enough that I found the third game a tad bit repetitive. I didn't think Soul Calibur 3 was bad, but after 3 games, the series never evolved to me. It was the exact same game for years now, and when Part 3 didn't really juggle the formula, and also having one of the cheapest final bosses ever, and you can pretty much go into any battle with Astaroth or Nightmare and just knock people off the arena. But, well, okay, there's not much tact or guile to this, so this is getting repetitive. But when I saw Star Wars characters on it, that was kind of it for me. I know you want to get people to buy your game. I'm not a Star Wars fan, so it wasn't an appeal to me. It just seemed like shilling, and I don't know. Maybe I'm too tied to my principles or whatnot. But I thought that was kind of shameless. But a part of a group. I'm a part of a fighting game group on Facebook, and I've heard from people that the game is good. So I can sort of swallow my obstinance and enjoy a pretty solid fighting game. Still, I've yet to play Part 5, which I heard was garbage, but I'm kind of magnetically drawn to craft, so I might even give that one a shot as well. So, Soul Calibur 4, gonna give it a shot, gonna go in open-minded, and see where that takes me. And up next, while we're on the subject of fighting games, is another one that I actually had to have back because my old copy stopped working, and I'm a huge SNK honk, so Neo Geo Battle Coliseum. I think this is one of the most overlooked fighting games ever. I have a lot of fun playing this, and I had a lot of fun going through it with all of the characters. The cameos were neat, and the mechanics actually played very similar to King of Fighters 11. And I'm a really big fan of Ai. This girl's awesome. She hits you with Tetris blocks. Never gets old. This game also just for no reason, you can pit Haomaru against Robert Garcia, and this is the rich, sleepy, gross-looking Robert Garcia. He looks like he hasn't slept in ages. So yes. Glad to have Neo Geo Coliseum back in my library. This was my next one here. Is another game that I was kind of mean to, but for good reason, because I didn't like it. But it's not often when I pick up a game, at least in the modern era, where after playing it for about 95 seconds, I just go, my god, this absolutely sucks. And that's what I had felt about this right here. Operation Raccoon City, Resident Evil. At this point, I'm just sort of padding out the rest of my Resident Evil collection. I've only got 2 games to get after this. Dead Aim and Lone Survivor, I think it was called Lone Survivor. So yeah, after this, these are the only 2 Resident Evil games that I think I have to get. I would still like the 3DS version of Darkside Chronicles, just again to sort of pad things out. And who knows, maybe even track down the Gamecom version of Resident Evil 2. But this is pretty much the post-Resident Evil 4 syndrome. Shinji Mikami is gone, so now they're trying to reestablish it. The problem is that it's diverting even further from survival horror and just flat-out action. And it doesn't feel natural at all, and this game just suffered from bad controls, and I just didn't like playing it, but I'm gonna try it again. Will it be a review at some point? I don't know. Probably not, because it's just sort of something to have. I'm gonna go in with it and try and be fair again. And I don't know. Maybe if I'm finished playing it and I come through with something to say about it, I'll see. And last on my retro pickups is probably, I think, I don't know if I want to consider this overlooked, but around the time of the PlayStation, Metal Gear Solid did such a remarkable job of blurring the lines between video games and cinema. Games in the past have done it, like Final Fantasy VII or Super Metroid, games where it makes you feel like that you're watching an interactive movie of sorts. And one of the ones that I thought that if not did it better than just as good as Metal Gear Solid, was the Fear Effect series, and I was really happy to find Fear Effect 2, Retro Helix. Still in the hindsight a little bit disappointed that's kind of a backstory, especially since nothing else became of the series. Like, I figured that, well, if they were going into a backstory, then clearly Eidos wants to make this a series. But I believe that around that time, Eidos was being bought out by Square Enix. So maybe Fear Effect was one of the franchises that just sort of fell in between the cracks. But this was like early cell shading, and this was in 2000 on the PlayStation. So it did it pretty good, and the graphics, of course, they're clearly dated, but it was a pretty slick action game. And now this series, at least for now, is complete, and I'm happy to have this one back. And yeah, that concludes my retro pickups. Thank you for watching this video. Remember, the history of Double Dragon is on its way. I'm adding some touches and probably going to film a couple of more scenes. But until next time, catch you later. And I still don't have a catchphrase.
Thank you for watching, everybody, and I encourage you to check out these other channels over here on the left from some very talented YouTube guys who've actually helped me get me to where I am today. And also, hey, why not click over on that Rascal video? I kinda get pretty angry at it. Catch you later. 虹をつかむ夢を見れば空も飛べた